previous two videos, you heard two versions of Amazing Grace. One was a very basic version where the chords consisted of the 1, the 4, the 6, the 2, and the 5. Pretty much straightforward. Those are the chords that you'd find in a lot of traditional hymns. And then in the second version, there were a few things that I did that you can do to add a little bit more contemporary harmony to the song. One of the things you can do is add progressions moving from one chord to another chord based on the circle of fourths and fifths. Another thing you can do is you can add passing chords, and one other thing you can do is use a substitute chord for an existing dominant chord. So let's go through the song. Let me show you a few places where I inserted those items. Okay, the song starts off on the E flat and then goes to E flat dominant and then goes straight to the A flat. How sweet the sound. Now instead of the 1, 4, 1, what you can do is play the 1, and instead of playing the dominant 7, E flat, you can play the third of the dominant 7. Now let's listen to that in context. So certainly this chord, this which is a E flat, well, excuse me, it's actually a G minor 7 flat 5. But if you look at the components, this part of the chord is a rootless dominant 7, E flat dominant 7 chord. Now if you take the root out of the bass and you put the third of the chord, remember, root, there's your E flat chord. So you play the third of the chord. Now you have G minor 7 flat 5, and that adds a different flavor. So that's a substitute chord. Instead of playing the dominant, you can turn it into a G minor 7 flat 5 chord, which is the 3 of the E flat major scale. Okay, let's see, what else did I do? Let's see, so we went. Oh, then you can go a 2-5-1, or actually it's a 5-1-4. 5-1-4. So we have so instead of going to the regular Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, we go, how sweet. So what you did in what we did in that case was we substituted the 5-1-4 instead of just going straight to the E flat. So we use these chords, the 5 chord, the 1 chord, as transportation to take us to the 4. Now this is actually a progression that's out of the key of E flat, because the 5 is normally a B flat major chord. In the key of C, the key of E flat, the 5 is a major chord or a dominant chord, depending on whether or not you are using it as a dominant or just using it as a tritone, which would make it a major chord. And in the progression, you're changing it to a minor chord. So that's your B flat minor 7 to your E flat, and then to A flat major. So we went Then we did a walk. Excuse me. So we're walking up from the 3. And then now instead of going from this chord to a straight E flat, what I did was I used an E flat 9. That's the 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in E flat. So I added the 9 and then put a G in the bass, which is the 3rd of the chord. So instead of going I use the which is a G minor 7 sharp 5 chord. So then I use the passing chord, which is an A9 with a flat 5 to go to the 4. And then that walk again. Then I did a walk from the B flat to the E flat. And then and this is just a little melody where the between the 2 E flats you have this little walking thing. As an ending. So there's a couple of things that you can use to give it a little more contemporary harmony. The first one was taking the dominant and doing a substitution for it, where we used the G minor 7 flat 5. The other one was where we used the 5-1-4 to take you to the A flat. Then one other was the walk up that we did from G. Then we did a walk up from B flat. And then let's see, what else did we use? Well, we did the passing chord, the A minor 7 flat 5 to go to the 4. So there's a few things that you can use to add a little contemporary harmony to the basic chord progression in Amazing Grace. I hope you found this helpful. If so, do give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the webpage. Thank you.